in terms of all these trends nowadays about if you don't drink 32 ounces of lemon infused,
you gotta, lay in the grass naked underneath the sun to be able to be grounded and, all that stuff. And what's actually useful to do.
Yeah, it's just finding what works for you, what's realistic, and not taking in everything that you're reading on social media and saying, oh, this must be what I have to do.
All right, JT, welcome back, dude.
Thanks, man. Happy to be here. Let's do it.
Yeah. What is this? Is this episode 6 now?
5, I think.
Episode 5.
Wait, 5 or 6?
It's episode 5, I believe, not including episode 0, which always throws me off.
Yeah.
Since we had a fake first episode,
right?
Like a little pilot intro.
Yeah, we're still obviously figuring this out. We don't even know which episode we're on, which one's real, which one's not. But no, we're having fun. It's been fun so far. I'm excited for today's conversation, man.
Man, I'm really excited for today. I think just off the bat, naturally, our conversation beforehand, I felt like was just rolling in a bunch of really cool directions. So excited to see where that goes and have some fun with it.
Yeah, man, let's do it.
Okay, so starting out, we are going to talk about the most popular current health and fitness trends that we are seeing in both our professional lives and also on social media, and what people are doing. We were just talking about how much Nashville is a city that it seems like the two biggest things that people are into are music and fitness. Mm-hmm. And we're not really going to talk a lot about music today, but we could, I guess.
Yeah, my one musical talent was when it was quarantine. Everyone had like a quarantine hobby. I learned how to play the harmonica for like a month. I learned Piano Man, and I learned Love Me Do by the Beatles.
Oh, yeah.
And I've forgotten both of them completely, but for a month, I was a novice harmonica player, and that's where it ended.
I feel like playing the harmonica has got to be a little bit like riding a bike. I'm sure if you picked one up again, you might be able to fumble your way through it. It would need to be in a
soundproof room where no one could hear me. But yeah, I would try it again. It's not that hard.
I bet just a couple beers, you would crush Piano Man.
I was better a little with a few drinks. I will say.
Yeah,
I will say that.
Typically you got to just kind of remove the that initial barrier, that hesitation, and just go for it.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Any musical talents on your end?
Yeah, I hesitate to say that I'm musical in Nashville because that comes with certain connotations that I think are above me. But I did grow up playing guitar and singing. I sang in chorus all through school, and then was actually in an a cappella group in college.
Dude, I'm so glad I asked this question. I keep learning more about you.
Yeah.
The man of many talents.
It was pretty fun.
Please tell me there's a video of you out there in your a cappella group.
Oh, there definitely is. If you look hard enough or not hard enough, you'll find it. Yeah.
Internet's pretty easy now.
Yeah. The YouTube search engine's pretty good.
Oh man, Alec a cappella.
Yeah, gotcha. You might be able to find it. So,
awesome,
but yeah, I kind of have hung up the boots on that one.
Yeah, we're more on the fitness end. We'll steer the conversation there today. I think
yeah, maybe we can have a special guest talk about musical trends, current music trends at some point. But
season,
we'd have to figure out how to make that work with the branding.
Might be kind
of tough. So we're gonna not talk about music, and we're gonna talk about health and fitness trends in just kind of the current world, the things that people are doing and people are talking about it. Some people are all on board certain things and bashing other things, and really excited to hear your perspective. And then also really kind of get into this concept we were talking about, which is how do we major in the majors and minor in the minors and not accidentally get those things mixed up. In other words, how do we prioritize our attention, our effort, our finances to fitness, recovery, health, wellness trends, all those things that are actually going to make a meaningful impact on whatever our goals are, versus accidentally maybe wasting time on something that might not really be doing a whole lot for us, depending what the goal is, right? And so I think there's a lot of information out there right now that is all about you've got to do this 30 to 45 minute long wellness morning routine every single day in order to be off the morning routine trends, all those things. And maybe we start with the morning routine trend and have to hit all these different things. And, you got to, lay in the grass naked underneath the sun to be able to be grounded and, all that stuff. Yeah. And what's actually useful to do. You might strike me as somebody who does do the naked sun grounding. I don't know if you do that.
Where are you going with that? I have done some barefoot work on the ground just because I like to work my feet in different ways. Yeah. But even then, that hasn't been a consistent. That's the closest I've gotten to laying naked on the ground.
Yeah.
Have gone skinny dipping a couple times. I think that's completely a different subject. But
it's probably closer to cold plunging.
Naked cold plunge. But no, I think personally morning routines. I do have one. Like it's something that I just like as a ritual to start my day. More honestly on the mental, spiritual side versus physical. That's just the way I live. But in terms of all these trends nowadays about if you don't drink 32 ounces of lemon infused hydrogen alkaline water, then your body will be rejecting whatever you eat the rest of it. Like I see trends like that about like generalizing morning routines for everyone. Like everyone needs to be doing this and waking up at this time. Like everyone's is different. And that's what a lot of the conversation today is going to steer towards individualization of these things. Not to say that there's a right or wrong answer, not to say it's wrong to have a morning routine. I think it's great, but it's just finding what works for you, what's realistic, and not taking in everything that you're reading on social media and saying, oh, this must be what I have to do. And so we'll get into that today.
Yeah. What's your morning routine look like?
Yeah. So I typically like to wake up around the same time. I am big on trying to keep my circadian rhythm the same. That's off on the weekends, I'll say, if I'm going out or staying up a little bit later. But Monday through Saturday, I'm trying to wake up around 5:30 to 6. I'll typically like to do a cold shower in the morning. That honestly, not so much for if there's health benefits for it. It wakes me up. Like I'm groggy in the morning typically. It truly I think it pisses me off. I don't want to do it. And it's something that it's a hard thing that I don't want to do. And I'm starting my day with something hard. So I'll do that, make my bed. And then I do like to drink water in the morning. I might do some electrolytes if I'm running that day. Yeah. If I'm not running that day, I typically don't add electrolytes. You don't have to have those if you're not going to sweat a whole lot. And then I'll try to get some morning light, either on a walk, or I might do some some sort of movement outside. I like that. And then I'll come back in and read some scripture, do some journaling, and take some time with God, and then get on with my day. That's typically the routine. Takes me like 30 to 40 minutes, and so that's worked for me. I really like it. It's realistic. I love it. It's one of my favorite parts of the day. So
that's awesome.
Fan. Do you have one that you're like?
I set my bedtime and my wake up time at the exact same time every single day. Yeah. Sometimes I'm more successful at adhering to those than other times, but I really try. So my alarm is set for 5:53. I chose that arbitrarily. Specific. Yeah. I used to not do that. I have kind of fluctuated up and down, but I have been wearing an Oura ring for, 40 years at this point, probably 3 years. And it told me my ideal, based on all the data that it has, it says my ideal bedtime is 9:53 and my ideal wake up time is 5:53, 8 hours. And I was like, well, that's about as good as any arbitrary time to choose. So I'll just... I guess I'll just set it for that,
Might as well like a tea time, for golf. Yeah, it's very specific. Very specific bedtime.
Yeah. For whatever, I also feel like having it be this weird off number makes it easier to not hit snooze.
Interesting.
A certain, I don't know why that is, but mentally, I guess, I don't know.
No, that's my time. It's 5:50.
It's my time. Yeah.
I'll have to try that.
Yeah. So I wake up at 5:53, or try to every day. And after that, my routine is typically a shower, although I guess I'm a pansy, dude, because I just do a comfortable shower.
You're not. I'm a psycho.
Gradually, I'm just dude, just ease. You got a big day ahead of you, buddy. So just, ease yourself into it. And then same thing, I'll have probably some water and electrolytes and then some coffee. honestly just depends on how hydrated I feel when I wake up.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I just go straight for the coffee,
Sure.
I just go straight in.
Sometimes you need it.
Sometimes you just need it. And then I'll sit down on the couch with my dog and read some scripture and have just like some kind of quiet time as we're drinking coffee. And and then kind of plan out my most important tasks for the day, like the things that I know, okay, for today's to-do list items, here's the things that I need to get done. And so then I kind of have a framework of what my day is going to look like. I kind of like give myself that opportunity to take a bird's eye view of the day. I make sure that I have the time carved out for my workout in that day as well. And then we just start working, and then it's kind of just pretty much how it goes. I mean, it's not nothing super complicated or crazy. Just
Yeah, not saying that any of this is. I mean, I think hydrating early in the morning would be one of the more important things. There's some conversation about morning light versus not. To me, I truly just enjoy it.
Yeah.
I look at those things, and there's so much about like, oh, this is like the science behind this, the research behind this. You can find articles about anything to confirm your bias on that.
Right.
Truly, like find what is repeatable for you. What do you enjoy? Like I look forward to my morning routine, except the cold shower. But everything else, like it's one of my favorite parts of the day. So that would be my advice to anyone that wants a morning routine is try some things out, experiment, find what do you look forward to make it easier to get up out of bed that morning. That would be my only piece of advice if I had to give some. You don't have to do everything. Everything that you do doesn't have to have like some evidence behind it to say this will help your whatever. Find what you like.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Like we don't have to have scientific evidence to justify every single thing.
God, what a
that
life
we
that
do.
would be.
That would be,
Jeez.
just like
chill out.
Yeah, calm down, people. Calm down.
Yeah.
It's okay.
It's
like,
okay.
It's fine.
Truly, man.
Jeez.
Yeah, but
yeah. So, are you more of a morning person though, in general?
Big time.
Yeah,
big time. I mean, ever since honestly physical therapy school, when I had to be like in college, I was definitely a night owl for many different reasons. But in grad school, you gotta be locked in. I became a morning person through PT school out of necessity, and then that just kind of built throughout my professional life too. So I love the mornings, man. It's honestly my favorite time of the day.
Yeah, I'm right there with you, dude. It's the best. And as soon as the sun goes down, I'm like, peace out, world.
Dude, my friends give me so much crap. I'm always the friend in the friend group that like once the sun goes down, I'm looking.
Yeah,
to go
Irish
home.
exiting.
And they're looking at they're just waiting for me to go. But that's a life. I love it, man. I love going home early. I love waking up early. So yeah, man.
Yeah, I love it. That's awesome. Yeah. All right, cool. Well, we can hang out then because we'll peace out together.
Yeah, man.
Guys. Early bedtime.
9:52.
9:50. Yeah, exactly. Bedtime is coming.
Yeah.
Okay, so we are going to talk about some health and fitness trends and get into that a little bit more. I think like along those lines, like let's talk about some of the things that you are hearing right now in terms of like, what are some things that either patients are talking to you about or things that you're seeing on social media that you just are like, man, this is a big hot topic right now. And then also, maybe we can kind of take the conversation in a direction where we're looking at, okay, is this a major issue or a minor issue in terms of how we need to be approaching, this certain thing. So I don't know if there's any that you have on top of your head that you kind of want to start with, and we can kind of go into those.
Sure. Yeah. I think right now, two of the big things would be the cold plunge sauna conversation. I know that's been big on social media, and I get a lot of questions from patients about it that are truly asking me like, should I invest in this? Is this good for recovery? Like it's truly like they're trying their best to take care of themselves. And it's honestly something I haven't done a whole lot of research on. I see the posts every now and then that will show again, going back to research, like, if you spend X amount of minutes in a cold plunge 3 to 4 times a week, it improves X and XYZ, cardio and benefits. Let's just say that. I do think there's enough research out there to be like, there's probably some benefits to it. I think one thing that I lean on with those is that I think they need to be long-term exposure to that. Like if you go in the cold plunge one time, it doesn't solve all of your problems. So if you have accessibility to do them and have maybe in a morning routine time to do that throughout your week, throughout your month, where it's sustainable, I think it's a worthwhile thing. I'm talking specific about the cold plunge. It's a worthwhile thing to try out, knowing the timing needs to be right. I've heard that you should not do it like after a strength workout because it can help. That might diminish like what is it, like more like muscle synthesis or muscle growth. So I think doing your research on it, knowing that the time that works for you, is it accessible? And if you can, great. But if you're not cold plunging, don't think that you're missing out on some amazing thing that you're never going to get, recovered now. Like I think that's the thing that I want to educate on, is that you don't have to do this to get good benefits. Like we'll talk. I love the conversation about the majors and minors. Like you can see I'm kind of leaning more toward the cold plunging and saunas being like a minor. It's a good thing to do, but it's not something that you must be doing to get the most out of your recovery. Personally, I've done it off and on a couple of times. I've never had a long-term like stint with it, so I can't say personally what benefits it has for me. It's relaxing. The sauna is. The cold plunge is definitely like a thing about the cold shower, like a mental toughness thing. I almost do the cold plunges more as a mental, like, all right, man, just set in for 3 minutes, see if you can do it. So personally, I don't have much experience with it, but that's what I try to tell patients a little bit about it. Do you have any opinions on that, or ones that you want to talk about?
Yeah, to me, I think it's just asking yourself the question of, well, what's your aim with going and doing something like a cold plunge or a sauna? Like, what are you trying to get out of it, right? I think there is benefit to be had in terms of somebody saying, hey, I actually really enjoy that kind of like mental high that I get after doing it, right? The clarity, all of those kinds of things. Also, I think there's value in just doing something that you don't want to do because it sucks, and just making yourself do that anyway. I think there's value in doing that. The thing that I always want to make sure that people are aware of is also like, hey, depending on what your goals are, if you have a hypertrophy goal, or like even somebody like yourself who's training for an ultramarathon, right? If you're relying on cold plunge to help your body feel good, to be able to train the next day, day in, day out, it's most likely that you're actually overtraining or under recovering, right? And so we don't want the cold plunge to be this thing that now mitigates some of those signals that would otherwise our body would be telling us, that would give us an indication that like, hey, we're getting overtrained, right? And so I think that for certain athletes, especially when they're training for particular goals, I think that's important to be aware of. At the same time, like I've used a cold plunge. Like last year I had a 2-day CrossFit competition, and it's like 4 workouts on Saturday, 4 workouts on Sunday. So you finish the day on Saturday, you've been competing from like 8 a.m. till 6 p.m. And then you got to go back and you got to do it again the next day at 8 a.m. And already knowing that like my body is going to feel like absolute trash. Like I used a cold plunge that day to try to mitigate some of the soreness going into the next day. And I do feel like it helped, right? So I felt like it was a helpful thing in that context of being ready to go again tomorrow, right? But in that moment, my goal was not muscle protein synthesis. My goal was to just not be so sore the next day that I wouldn't be able to compete, right? So I was putting off potentially long-term benefits of what I was caring about for the 48 hours of competition that I had in front of me, right? So I think it's an important thing to just like understand, where you're at and what your personal goals are, and if it's a tool that makes sense for you or not. To me, as far as the mental toughness thing goes, dude, I don't know about you. I just feel like I do like enough like hard shit on a daily basis.
True.
That's
like, true, man.
I'm like, man, I don't know. Like
I'm
good, dude. Like I'm good.
Yeah.
Like I've run several ultramarathons. I know what it feels like to wake up and have to go run like for 11 hours in the woods on a Saturday when like all your friends are going out and watching football on the day, like, that day. And that is, I think, mentally harder than a 4-minute cold plunge. I'm just going to be real.
No, you're spot on.
Like, I just don't think that they're even close. And so as far as mental toughness goes, to me, I get done with it and it's more of like, oh man, that was really miserable. but I don't necessarily feel like I got better from it. Now I'm just shivering, like my teeth are chattering, and that's like,
sucks.
and now I'm like, I just can't warm myself up, dude. I shiver so bad.
Oh, I'm bad too, dude.
So bad. I mean, like I am like teeth chattering, just like constantly afterward. So yeah, I mean, that's kind of where I'm at on it. I think the other thing in terms of the like mental clarity piece, I get it. Like you definitely have this like elevated feeling afterward. But I also don't necessarily feel like when I don't have that, I'm missing it.
Right.
So again, to me, I think about how bad does this suck? How big of an inconvenience is it? And like what my benefit is afterward. And I just, to me personally, I just don't see the trade-off. That's just my own personal thing. So I just prefer to not do them.
Yeah, no, I truly like we do enough hard stuff already. I think it's good to have know that not every part of your life has to suck. You can have like a nice hot shower in the morning, like we were talking about before. Like, yes, there are some days where I look at that cold shower and I'm like, you know what? Not
going
today.
hot today.
You know what?
You know?
Exact. So like again, like you have a routine, but it's okay to like listen to yourself, and it's. You're not less of an athlete or less of a man because you didn't take a cold shower that day.
Dude, I appreciate that validation.
You're welcome.
I really needed that. It was I've been going through something. You know?
But I know I like the idea of what you said. Just like what's the purpose? Like anytime you go into any of these things that we're about to talk about, like I think it's a good practice. Say like, what's the purpose of what I'm about to do? Especially if it is something that you're paying good money for. Because that's the one thing we didn't talk about: cold plunges and saunas. Especially if you're going to have that in your house, like those are not cheap. And in most gyms, they'll add on a little bit if you want to go do that. So. Think about the context of it. What's the purpose of it? And then make sure that you're reassessing, like in a month, like, do you get a benefit from it? And if not, it's okay to pivot, So that's, I think a big overarching theme of today is the context of these things.
Right.
That's
a
good point.
I mean, like, let's go on from that to some of the other things that are really trendy right now. Like the one that I keep seeing everywhere on social media is red light therapy. And all the benefits that red light can have and that sort of thing. And I'm curious as to your thoughts on that as well. Have you done like a red light therapy session before?
So right now, apart from my business that I own, I do PRN work at an orthopedic clinic in Nashville that has red light, and they have 3 or 4 different red light therapies that they use on almost every patient. And I typically on something like that will just look anecdotally at those patients, and the ones that I'm usually seeing them after they've seen another therapist 3 or 4 times. And I've asked them about their experience, how they're doing. And, they've had red light every day that they've been going to PT, and they say that they feel better afterwards. And I'm like, great, awesome. We'll continue doing it. And it could be, not the red light. It could be something else that they're doing, or, another part of the therapy. But if one of my big beliefs in my field is that if a patient believes it's going to work, you talk about the nocebo placebo effect. If they believe it's working for them, all right, great, let's do it. If that helps you do these exercises better, I'm all for it, because I don't think that there's a risk, as long as they don't have any contraindications for that. So personally, the few times that I have used it, it's patients are saying that they enjoy it, they like to work with it. And I'm not going to bash those beliefs, especially since they're not really my patient. I'm going to be like, all right, let's keep doing it. If it's a patient that I'm seeing for the first time and they're asking about it, I might say something like it's an option, but it's not like again, kind of going back to the cold plunge. We don't have to do this in order for you to get better. There are many other ways to, what's his phrase? More than one ways to skin a cat. Same idea here. Like, you don't have to do this, but this is what the research is saying that it does, and then, kind of decide from there what's appropriate for them.
Are you talking about like laser, like a class 4 laser?
So
a class 4 laser.
Yeah. So like if they have shoulder pain, like I'll just go on here for like 6 minutes. And,
Dude, I'm a big fan of class 4 laser. I think that I have seen so many crazy awesome recovery stories from class 4 laser, just in terms of how the light interacts with the mitochondria at the mitochondrial level, and it like increases that mitochondrial activity, which can really help with glucose clearing. It can help with just creating better health in the cells overall, right? And yeah, I mean, I've seen from orthopedic injuries like shoulders, elbows, you know, all those kinds of things, to even like really bizarre like nerve type conditions where, you know, I've had patients who had like a type of like neuritis, right? Where basically they have this just like neuropathy type of scenario, but like all down a nerve root distribution. And the laser has helped people like that tremendously. I mean, it's helped with like post-herpetic neuralgia, helps with, you know, it helps with neuropathy, like diabetic neuropathy, like so many different cool things that I've seen like the class 4 laser that is a highly concentrated red light therapy is ultimately what it is, be phenomenal for people, right? I guess like the thing that I'm seeing more that's more trendy is more of those like red light baths. Like, you know, you stand in front of a wall with red lights.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? Like those like
too.
infrared red light kind of things where you're just standing in front of this like really red wall of light. And then it's just like going to your whole body. Yeah. And honestly, I haven't experimented with that myself to really know how that works or feels afterwards. So I have no like personal experience about it. To me, if we like ultimately think about what are we trying to accomplish here, and we're trying to accomplish like improved cellular health and all those things, I feel like our big 3 of sleep, diet, and exercise does way more for your cellular health than a red light therapy session could. Yes. You know, that's going to be my bias.
Mine too.
I'm just going to say it.
Yeah. No,
so
with those patients too, we do typically have those conversations like, yeah, this is something that we're going to do today for these 6 minutes. Okay. I'm not going to see you for another week. What are you doing the other 6 days? So like, that's a really important conversation to have with patients that tend to only want to come in for, oh, I got to come into PT for my red light, or I'm not going to get any better. Like, not necessarily true. So I think it's the dependence that I'm seeing from certain populations on these passive modalities that I'm a little concerned with.
Yeah.
And that's where we want to start gearing the conversation today towards those major things that we all have independence over.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think it's our responsibility too, as providers, to help people to use those tools that are at our disposal in order to help people get results as quickly as possible.
Sure.
But then also have the education piece to help them see that their results are not purely a result of this therapy that they did, but it's in conjunction with the majority of the work that was done was likely through their exercise and lifestyle changes.
Yes.
Right. And then sometimes we just need a little extra push up that hill, you know? Like we talked about inflammation a couple episodes ago and just talking about the inflammatory process. And I've seen red light therapy be super beneficial to help someone who is very acutely inflamed have massively reduced inflammation levels, at least symptomatically. This is not measuring via like actual, you know, blood markers, like none of that stuff, but at least the amount of symptomatology in terms of their inflammation, like how much pain they're in, how sensitive is the tissue, all those things can be used as proxies for how inflamed that tissue is. And the red light therapy does help speed up that process a lot, you know, a lot faster than the normal, you know, 3-week cycle would be. So, but again, it's our job, I think, as providers to help educate people and help them understand that, hey, this is going to help speed some things along, right? You know, at best, it'll help do that, but it is not going to be the thing that heals you more than the actual process of your body healing is going to.
Yes.
So,
spot on.
Yeah. What about things like, let's talk about massage for a second.
Sure.
Dude,
as PTs call them soft tissue mobilization.
Yeah. Well, I'm talking about like going and getting a massage.
Oh, massage therapy.
Like massage therapy.
Gotcha.
I'm talking about like actually massage therapy, right? Okay. Going and getting a massage in terms of recovery, because we're on this recovery train right now. Like, so we'll just stick with recovery. Dude, the number of times that I'm done. I'm wrapping up with the patient. They're almost on their way out their door. And then they poke their head back in and they say, what about massage? And then I'm like, what about massage? I don't know what your question is. Like, what are you
scared?
I don't know what your question is. What about it? And it's normally something along the lines like, can I go get a massage? Right. And yeah, I'm curious if you have that same question that pops up to you, and how you view massage therapy in the patient recovery journey, and like, how is it a useful tool and when is it maybe not as appropriate?
Yeah, that's a good question. I do get that question a lot, usually at the end when we have no time to talk about it. But yeah, I've worked with several massage therapists in my time, just through connections, and they do amazing work. So I'll do, like, as a physical therapist, like I said, I'll do what we call soft tissue mobilization, but I'm in no way as trained as them. So I know that they have techniques and they can spend 30, 45, 60 minutes just doing this modality on them. And, I'm a believer in massage therapy, again, being a helpful tool to use to help them feel better and more mobile after the session. Anytime that I have somebody ask me about that, I will also give them a post-massage routine. So, okay, after you've gone and done this 30 to 60 minutes, you'll likely feel pretty good. That's awesome. I'm happy for you. Let's go use that, because now, ideally, you will have less pain, more mobility. But if you do not go and access that new mobility, then it will likely be a very short effect. So again, it goes back to a lot of what we're talking about today. Just goes back to educating about, why are you going to get a massage? Are you doing it just for you want a spa day? You want to relax? Go for it, man. Yeah. Are you trying to go heal an injury? Okay, let's back up and talk about the injury real quick, where you're currently at. If they're really riled up, or if they have a certain condition, I might give them some things to tell the massage therapist, about their certain injury, like where, there's a lot of tension, or, certain areas to work a little bit more on, if they really want that sort of advice. But more than anything, I'm telling them that's going to be a short-term effect. It's going to feel really good. But if you can use that, then that's where you'll get a really good effect. Yeah. So that's kind of my mindset with it. I have nothing against it. It's just how do you use it?
Yeah. I think for me, I would say first most impactful benefit from massage is just toning the nervous system down, right? And getting somebody who is in this like fight or flight, I'm in pain, sympathetic nervous system is elevated, stressed out, and it's a moment for us to try to just dial that autonomic nervous system more into the parasympathetic state than the sympathetic state. And I think it can be incredibly powerful for that, especially in the context of something that's relaxing and feels nice and all that kind of stuff. I think where I've seen people get into trouble with it is, like, for example, someone who has like a low back injury, right? And then they go and then they try to have the massage therapist like beat the piss out of their low back. And then they get up from the table and they're like, oh shit, that was not, I do not feel good, because typically what's going on is they have certain levels of inflammation that are present. And now they just spent an hour beating up this tissue that's already super pissed off and inflamed. And they get up and they feel way worse. And I would say that the patients that don't tell me they're going to go get a massage and then do it, they almost always come back, especially when they're early on in the process and they're just trying to grasp at straws to get like anything to get relief. But they go and they kind of go rogue on this whole massage thing, because like, of course it's going to help, right? And then they come back and they're like, hey, so after our last session, I went and got a massage, and I don't think that was a good idea because it got way worse. And like, that just happens so often. And I don't necessarily think it's not massage's fault. It's not the massage therapist's fault, but it was the wrong intervention for that person at the wrong time, right? And so it's right treatment, right person, right time. That's what's super, super key. And I think one thing that you and I would both say is something we're really passionate about is that we are not one-trick ponies in terms of how we approach a patient, right? Like, I am a chiropractor, but not everything that I do is just adjusting people, right? And some people I do not adjust. Some people I don't even touch with my hands because I'm like, they don't need it, and I don't think this is going to help, or it's going to make it worse, right? same thing. You're a physical therapist. You don't just give them a sheet of exercises to do, right? Would be like you know what I mean? It's like not the same thing. It's like, here's a stretchy band and go do something. It's the right intervention. It's the right exercise. It's the right treatment for the right person at the right time is super important. And I think oftentimes we just think that like the more that we do for something, then the better the result has to be. But sometimes less is more.
Yep.
Sometimes less can be more. And so that's when I like to think about, as far as recovery goes, if our purpose of using a massage is to try to help recover from a specific injury, I'd say that is the wrong time to use that tool. If we are using the massage as a way to try to decrease our sympathetic nervous system, to lower that down, to increase our parasympathetic state, right? Then I think it can be a phenomenal tool, because I think that will help overall decrease pain levels. But I think when you have something that's already in pain, that's already irritated, and then you go and you do an hour of deep tissue on it, it just 99 times out of 100 results in like a way worse flare up afterward than it does a positive result.
Yeah, no, I think that's really good. I think giving anybody watching like a checklist of things to kind of go through in their mind before they go do a massage would be really helpful. So just to kind of clarify what you're saying, if you are in the, let's say, acute stage of a soft tissue injury, say within 3 weeks of something really flaring up, let's maybe hold off on a deep tissue massage that's only going to like really get deep on that area and potentially cause more harm than good. Not to say you might be able to hit some other parts, but
Sure.
Hey, I have this really flared up low back. I don't feel like getting it compressed for 60 minutes. Can we do some work around it? Maybe that would be okay. But overall, like not going for like an acute injury to have the massage therapy be your main source of treatment. But let's say if you are just generally sore, you're training for high rocks, you're training for a marathon, whatever, you've been working out 5-6 days a week and you just feel, God, I'm sore. And I'm just always working. I'm always, going. I just need to, I feel like I need to calm my system down. I think that would be a good time to go in for a massage therapy.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, for sure.
I
think just even the act of saying like, all right, if we even play it out, because we'll talk about the next one, which is rest, like active recovery days or rest days, right? Even sometimes I think the act of just saying, okay, hey, today I'm going to go get a massage. Most people, if you think about like a massage is 60 to 90 minutes. And then also your training session in the middle of those things is also probably 60 to 90 minutes. So let's say that's 3 hours of working on yourself plus the shower time, right? All that kind of stuff. Maybe that's 3.5 hours commuting to the gym versus the massage therapy studio, right? All of a sudden that adds up and it's like, oh, wow, this is an added 4 hours of my day. So you're probably going to cut out your workout for the day and then go do a massage instead is my point, right? Yeah. So then my question is like, oh man, I felt so much better after that. And it's like, well, is it just because you took a rest day? Like, you know what I mean? Exactly. Like you literally just didn't work out that day. Yeah. But also like it is, it's relaxing and it feels good. And that is probably good for your system to just be able to recover and have you just say like, hey, I've been breaking my body down with my training for the last 6-7 days in a row. It's time to actually take a day where I focus more on building up than breaking down.
Yeah.
I think it can be a good tool then.
That's great. Yeah. I like that mindset going into it. That's really good.
What about, I'll let you choose on this one. Okay. Do we want to talk about like cupping and like other soft tissue kind of things? Or do you want to talk about like, do you want to talk about rest days?
Ooh, that's good. Let's go, because I've been doing a lot of it, like cupping and dry needling.
Yeah.
I think those are two that I use. And again, we can, because we're on the massage, we can quickly jump to that. I'll just give a little bit of information on cupping and dry needling, kind of my mindset as a physical therapist when patients use it. My typical, like if I could, ideally, what I like to do with the patient is do some cupping before on an area that might be a little bit painful, increases blood flow, easy to do. Some people, if they're going out for a vacation or something where they don't want the cups, we might just do some soft tissue massage. A lot of my teenage, especially like the athletes, they're not even injured. They want the cupping.
They want the bruises.
Marks.
They just want the marks.
Yeah, because it looks tough. But no, I like to do the cupping. Kind of calms the system down, get some increased blood flow, and then I'll go in with doing some dry needling around that area. I'm a big believer in dry needling. That's where I've had the most practice, the most research done, the most training on. So that's something that I feel really comfortable with. So yeah, again, I think those two, when combined, can be really beneficial for improving blood flow, increasing a lot of different cellular things in the body that really do help with tissue healing, things like that. I'm a believer in it. I've done it on myself. That's how I treat my own injuries, and I've seen it. So I believe in it. Patients believe in it. I think it helps. Again, we're going to see a theme here. It's always going to come back to, we're doing this so we can start to heal this quickly. But the 45 minutes that we work after these 10 to 15 minutes, that's what really matters.
Yeah.
So again, it's just going into those sessions with that mindset and making sure that I'm educating on that.
So do you do, if I'm hearing you correctly, you'll do cupping before the exercise session, but dry needling after? Is that what you said?
So depends on the patient.
Okay,
so that's patient by patient. Some people, especially if they're new to dry needling, because what can happen with dry needling is after you do it, it is an irritant. You just put a needle in your body. Remember, like when you get a flu shot and your shoulder's kind of sore for a few days, it has a similar effect. It's a much tinier needle, so it's not as significant as that. But there has been times where I'll do some needling before a session, and a patient is like, they're doing a needle their hip flexor, and they do a hip flexor exercise, and they're like, whoa, I really feel like that. I feel like the needle spot, and that's not a sign of damage. It's just kind of irritating to them. Right. So if I can limit the pain that they're feeling during an exercise, then I'll maybe do that after. So it depends on the patient and how bad the injury is. Like if they're having an acute thing, I'll definitely want to do that near the end so I don't flare it up. It depends on the patient.
Yeah, that's interesting. Full disclosure, I have never gotten cupped before.
Oh, dude, I got some in my car, dude.
Yeah, I've never had it done to myself before. Yeah. I've done it on other people. I've just never had it done to myself.
Yeah, hey, man.
The dry needling has been a thing that I've done since, even before I graduated school. I got dry needling certified, so I could do it as quickly as possible. But yeah, some awesome things, and honestly, how I kind of treat myself as well.
Mm-hmm. I treat myself. Yeah. 3 times a week I'm dry needling something.
Yeah, dude. When you're ultra training like you almost have to.
I just did my hip flexor the other day. It feels great.
Yeah, you have to when you're. And then there's an added bonus of like, okay, I have the needle. I know where I need to put this needle, and I can feel it on myself at the same time.
Yeah.
So you get that, like, you kind of triangulate the data points, and it just works so well.
Fun.
Yeah, it is kind of fun. It is fun. So yeah, it's such a great tool. I love hearing that though. That's great. I think that these are great tools especially when you're training for something where you are on a schedule and you're on a timeline, like you are for this ultra marathon, right? And you have this event or this competition coming up, and you have to stay on top of your training and stay on top of your plan in a certain time frame to be able to hit the goal of running the race, And so I think that they can become incredibly powerful for helping kind of keep you within it's almost like the bumper rails on like bowling, right? Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? They kind of help keep you between the lanes or on the lane. And then I think there's sometimes people who will use these things like cupping and dry needling just to cover up like really bad programming and poor recovery, like overall. And then that's when we get into like the majors versus minors, right? To me, it's like, okay, your recovery, your rest days, your nutrition, your sleep, all those things have to be dialed in first.
Yes.
And then even working with patients, it's like, okay, I will do this for you because it's going to help. Big asterisk here is that if we're also not working with you to make sure that the rest of your recovery is dialed in, this little needling session will be a drop in the bucket and will not do anything.
Yes.
Like, you will just not overcome. You can't out-treat poor programming and poor recovery.
Preach.
You know, there's not a single therapist or chiropractor or physician that can treat you well enough that their intervention does more for your health than your recovery status.
Yes.
So that is super, super important. And I think most people are starting to get that a little bit more.
Yeah, I actually have seen that. Yeah,
I think people kind of get it, and they're also kind of relieved to hear it. They're like, "Oh my God, I don't have to rely on you like forever. This is great."
That's kind of the point. Yeah,
that's kind of the point. Okay, let's wrap on this. I'm excited to hear this one.
Okay.
What are the trends right now, like the health and wellness trends? I know we kind of just really talked about recovery more than anything else. But what are the health and wellness trends that are really grinding your gears right now?
Oh boy. Oh man. Oh, I would say when I think about what really pisses me off, and I'm on social media a lot, probably a bad thing, but it's part of the job. Whenever I see a social media post from a fitness influencer, rehab, some other physical therapists do it, but they try so hard to hook people in with a talk about, if you're not doing these 3 exercises for your low back, then you're gonna die, or you're gonna this one exercise healed my patient's low back pain of 20 years after he sought treatment from 20 other therapists, and it's like some pigeon pose, and I'm like, okay, it's just not to say that those exercises are bad or whatever. It's just whenever a professional claims that one exercise is the perfect exercise for everyone and you should be doing this, that to me, just as a human, is just pissing me off.
That's a huge red flag also.
Big red flag.
Because they're way oversimplifying something that can't be.
Oh my gosh. I can't, it truly, I'm getting speech. I hate it so much. And I try to practice forgiveness and try to understand, but dude, I would say, just to summarize it, just generalizing an exercise for everyone when it is just so beyond wrong. I can't even get into how complex the human body is, and how everyone's individual and needs, like you said, the right exercise for the right patient at the right time. Yeah, that one pigeon pose was perfect for him, but Sally down the street, who has the same thing, might be in a completely different position in life where she does not need that. She needs something else. So it's that misinformation is pissing me off.
Case in point, right? You can have a low back referral, somebody that has really, really tight hip external rotation, right? So they do not externally rotate the hips really well. And they might get a lot of benefit from that to try to open up some of that hip external rotation motion. Sure. But you can have then the next person who has low back pain because actually they have terrible hip internal rotation and they have massive amounts of hip external external rotation. So they'll be doing a pigeon pose all day long, and they're actually going the complete opposite direction of what they need to be working on. And their problem is they don't have good hip internal. So it's it's those types of things that are such sweeping generalizations that get to people in a lot of trouble. I think along those lines, mine's been the POV trend. The whole POV trend, I think, is the worst thing that has ever happened in the fitness and physical medicine space, because it's obviously still going on. I feel like it was going to die, the POV trend was going to die. And those POV videos still do really, really well. They perform really well. But it's POV, you had knee pain until you tried this one exercise.
Oh, yeah, I know what you're talking about.
You know what I'm talking about? And it's and then it's they do as if there's any one exercise that can solve somebody's knee pain.
Yes.
It's so reductionistic and so it just does not work that way at all, And then honestly, then sometimes I sit there and I'm like, do I just suck as a provider? Am I so bad that I can't identify the one single exercise that's going to change this person's life?
Yeah.
And then because I'll tell you, in my entire career, I have never had one exercise change someone's life completely. It's never happened.
No.
Has it happened to you?
No, not yet. I guess I got a lot of growing to do yet,
Dude,
man.
okay.
I'm still
right.
learning.
You and me both, man.
Yeah.
I guess we
We
have a
just
lot.
suck.
I guess we
we haven't found that magical exercise.
I know.
Yet
We got to go back to the drawing board on that one,
Shoot,
I guess.
Dang it. But no, so it sounds like we both kind of get pissed off at the same thing there. It's I like the term reductionistic. Well, I can't. That's a big old word. Reductionistic.
Is that the right way to say it?
I don't know. It sounded smart.
It's reduction.
I like
it. Reductionist.
Reductionist. Golly dang.
Reductionist.
Yeah,
right?
I'm not an English major guy. I don't know a lot of words, but
it is definitely simplistic. That's for sure.
There we go. That's
simplistic.
A better one.
It is
simplifying something that yes, I think our goal as therapists and rehab professionals is to simplify certain things that are complex to patients, especially if they are very anxious about these things. But there needs to be like some balance there. Like also explaining to them like the body is a very complex thing. Everyone's individual. We're going through a journey of figuring out things that work for you and that don't. Like if they come to you with very specific, like fine-tuned anatomy questions and biology questions, I think it's good to maybe simplify those things. But when it comes to the interventions for them and what's right for them, I think it is appropriate to have a more thorough explanation of this is why this works for you, and this is why this might not. As opposed to no, this one will do it.
Yeah,
this one will fix everything. So
absolutely.
I think that's what we're getting at.
And I think it's important for people to understand that rehab is not an input-output equation in terms of you have this condition plus this exercise equals this result. That's just not how it works, right? You don't do this series of exercises that gradually over time fixes and heals your knee pain. What it really is that you're starting at a level where you can move your body in a way that's not going to be irritating to the tissue that is currently irritated, right? Or it's not going to be provocative for your pain. And then you start to build capacity and strength in whatever size lane you have to stay in, right? And then as you start to build capacity in that lane, the lane starts to get wider and wider and wider so that the things that you're able to do gets bigger and bigger. And that happens through consistency of moving and finding that entry point that's appropriate for you. But it's not that like those exercises in and of themselves are like the magic knee exercises. It's you're just building capacity using those four things because they're four things that you can currently do. And then guess what? At some point, you're probably going to be able to add on a fifth and sixth. And then it'll be seventh and eighth. And then it'll keep growing. And then eventually that list of the things that you can do, your capacity is getting bigger and bigger to the point where now your knee just doesn't hurt anymore, or whatever it ends up being, right? Or what it takes to make the knee hurt is so much more dramatic than what it used to be. But it's not that these exercises are actually healing the condition. Yeah. You know what I mean? We're working on building strength and capacity around what's happening so that your tolerance gets better over time.
Right. What you just said, man, that was beautifully said. That's what needs to go viral is that explanation, but it's not as sexy as the, what are they? I don't even know what exercises they're doing nowadays, but that was a great explanation. I think we can cap it there, man.
Let's do it.
I have nothing. Yeah. I have nothing to add to that. That was great.
Awesome.
That was great.
Cool, man. Well, hey, thanks for coming on. We got a lot more things that I want to talk about trend wise, so maybe we'll circle back to this at another point.
Absolutely. This is fun.
We'll table it for now, and then we'll catch you on the next episode.
Let's do it, man.
Yeah. Thanks for being here.
Of course.